Hi, how's it going? So I'm making another thing. Welcome to the Game of the 2 Years Awards, because I'm looking at all the games that I have played in the last 2 years and telling you all the really good ones. While this awards show is meant to highlight some really cool games that I've played, it doesn't actually mean anything other than my personal opinion. Just because a game is mentioned here doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be good. It is not a recommendation by me to you. It is just me trying to appreciate these games and trying to put a spotlight on some cool ones so that people can at least know they exist, you know? And maybe they'll see a few screenshots or something and be interested. I don't really think that's likely, but I just need to make this video in case in 100 years people are like, dude, that guy was a genius. So he had all the best games. This is just, you know, I try not to say anything good ever in the real world, so it's nice to just occasionally be like, look, I'm just gonna put this down on paper. This game is good. I liked it, at least. Just don't. So now I can keep complaining. Alright. So when I ran this awards show 2 years ago, Hades took out the winning spot, so I figured I should probably change some stuff up around here. So I got my skin, for today at least. I put down, there's a little bit, I'll take you backstage. I wrote a little list on the wall, which I started doing a lot of effort and then sort of just started winging it. And I made a big statue to celebrate the win of the Game of the 2 Years Award. I was going to make this statue of Hades, but that was pretty big, so I made this instead. It's like its belt buckle or something. I don't know. It's not exactly instantly recognizable, but that's about the size I kind of wanted to go for. And the details are hard, so I thought this was neat. Alright, back to the stage. So I tried to make up a couple of rules for this ceremony but I'm probably not going to follow them very well. But I'm going to try and organize it so that we're going to start out with my least favorite of the games mentioned today, and end on my favorite ones, right? So it's kind of in order, but most of them are very good anyway. And also I'm going to try and say at least one good thing about every game, but I'm definitely going to fail at that, so we'll see how I go. Okay? Well, let's get into the nominations, huh? So first off, the bad games on the list. Last time around, we did DC vs. Marvel games, where the DC games got absolutely bodied by the Marvel games. And this year isn't really any different. I played Justice League Heroes and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for about one session each, and haven't really looked at them and don't have anything interesting to say. So that's DC out of the way. But that doesn't mean that DC actually sucked all the time around, because I ingested other forms of media. How does a normal person say that? I watched TV. So I got to watch Batman animated series, which was great. I've been watching the Adam West Batman series, which is great. I watched 3 DC movies. Not generally considered the worst ones, I imagine. I watched Superman 4, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. So I enjoyed all these movies. Me and my friends had a good time. But the best way I can rank these, I think, is by saying that Superman 4 is pretty stupid. Batman and Robin was pretty stupid, but it was pretty fun as well. And then Batman Forever was pretty fun and pretty stupid, but also kind of genius. Don't ask me to back up that statement, but I made it. But I also read a bunch of great DC comics. I went through like the top list of comics that I found on the internet, and I've just been reading down, trying to get through as many as I can. But what really sticks out was definitely Swamp Thing from Alan Moore, because that's really unsettling, actually, and creepy. But if I had to pick my favorite, I think I'm probably going with the Justice League International stuff. It's really bizarre and fun and stupid. Okay, on to some actual games now. Yeah, quick shout out to Perspective. It's just a little puzzle thing where you change the size of your guy based on your perspective and navigate the levels. Kind of weird. It was just kind of quick and fun and cool. Does that kind of say something good? I think the puzzles were pretty good quality, where you really start to think about how the process worked, and each time you had to try and find a different new way to use the mechanic, but none of them really overstayed their welcome. So congratulations, Perspective, first award. The first real award. Next, The Silent Age. I don't remember too much about it, but it was kinda neat. It was a very short little puzzle adventure game. But I think it was kind of neat. It does raise a question if I should be mentioning it, because I do remember very little from it, but I remember enjoying it. But I can't really explain how or why. So that's why I guess it's at the start of the video. It just sort of goes to show, I think, I give people a lot of grief for not really remembering any of the movies they watch, or anything that any of the media they consume. But I guess I don't either, so, maybe I should be nicer. Anyway, congratulations, you get an award. I don't know what award I'm gonna give this game. Next up is Poco. I remember a little bit. This is again a very, very short game. It's got a cute little guy in it. So how about that? You can try it for free. It's probably not very fun, but it's cool. Does that count? Was that something nice? Did I say something nice yet? I said it was cheap. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Next award goes to Cavern of Dreams. I played a lot of weird retro 3D platformers in these last 2 years. And most of them were good, but like not memorable. Cavern of Dreams was a little bit more memorable. Again, very short game, but pretty cool movement and exploration and stuff. So I thought I'd rate it. Yeah, I think it earned an award. It was fairly cool. Can I just say each of these games are cool? That counts as a good thing. Next award goes to The Case of the Golden Idol. It was kind of creepy. Interesting. I kind of feel like I sort of cheesed it a bit. So that was a bit of a bummer. But at some point you just sort of have to just start slotting in answers and hoping it. Even though you think you've kind of got it worked out, but you don't quite. But it almost gets there. It almost makes you think like you're a real detective or something. But it's got a pretty powerful atmosphere, I guess. I'll give it that. It's quite weird. But again, very short. I wanted to nominate Wayfinder. It's probably the least well-received game on this list. Because it had a pretty terrible launch. But then it sort of remarketed itself. It was kind of like trying to be Warframe. But it was just wasn't there, so it sort of changed it into a action game where all that sort of MMO grind is still there, but it's like really quick now. So it kind of made it sort of very unique experience. And as someone who plays a lot of solo MMO stuff, it was something that I could enjoy. In any case, I played it for like 2 weeks straight, so I figured it deserved a spot up here. Best Failure Award? I don't know. Next award goes to this little game called Blue Fire. It's fairly challenging and buggy, but it was actually quite fun. And I think I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, so I'm definitely putting it here. It seemed kind of frustrating and annoying, but also I kept just going back to it, you know, so congratulations, Blue Fire. Alright, I also got the chance to play Hi-Fi Rush. It's a bit tricky, and I couldn't really go back into it for completionist or anything, but at least for one playthrough, it was pretty interesting. It felt like a very unique experience to play. I don't think I've played any game that quite plays the same way. And they really committed wholeheartedly to that bit where you have to play the whole game in rhythm and to the beat. And so I spent like the whole game just like tapping my foot on the ground to the beat, and it got really tiring. But it was quite unique and cool. And there was actually a few other things it did as well too. So congratulations, Hi-Fi Rush, thumbs up. Okay, SteamWorld Heist 2. I think the SteamWorld games can be a bit of a hit and miss these days. But I think this one definitely lived up to its predecessor at least. Possibly even better. Oh, do I have to say something good? Did I say? No, I'm not gonna say anything good stuff. They're real stupid anyway. Alright. I wanna mention a few of these games that were really good, but these are also really popular ones, so I don't really think you need my opinion on them. Like, you don't really need me to tell you that Balatro is cool, right? Inscription's another big one. Obviously, everyone loves that. That's very popular, right? Animal Well is great, obviously. But really, I want to spend some more time talking about games that no one's probably heard of, right? Like, Later Alligator was pretty cool. It's fairly short and fairly disjointed, but fairly fun. Is that good enough? Can I move on to the next one? I think you just look at the trailer for a bit, see some screenshots, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe that's kind of interesting, maybe that's not. What else do I have to do here? I'm not getting paid for this, okay? So give me a break. Brave Escape. Nick and I have been having a lot of fun playing it. It's really challenging, but that makes it pretty satisfying when we can actually beat each level. I don't think this game would work for most people. It keeps coming up with new mechanics and interesting twists on stuff too, so it actually feels really well balanced. And we're having a great time, so Brave Escape's definitely getting an award. Alright, best Mario game. Mario gets its own category, because I played a fair few Mario games. I think Super Mario Bros. Wonder definitely wins, because that was a lot of fun. Although that final level is one of the worst things I've ever done. But I'm very happy that I got it done. And special shout out to Luigi's Mansion 3, because I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, thanks Mario. And finally back to best Marvel game. I played a handful of Marvel games, but I think the award obviously will go to Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, and Miles Morales can kind of just tack on there as well. Were pretty fun. Do you really need me to say more? But really, I spent most of my time in the last 2 years playing Marvel Champions, which is actually a real-life card game that I've spent way too much money on. Sludge Life 2! It's quite crude and weird and short, and it's very weird, but you get to go explore this real crazy world. Do some fun stuff. So Sludge Life 2. So definitely one of my favorite indie games to come out of the last 2 years was a little game called Ugly. It's nice finally to get some representation in game. Normally the main characters don't look anything like me, but this one looks exactly like me. It's kind of an easy joke to make, but the more I think about it, the more I think it does actually look like me. But that's neither here nor there, because the game's actually kind of cool. It's a little puzzle game. the main gimmick is you've got like this magic mirror, and you've got a shadow self you can like swap between and get around stuff. After that, you interact with the world in a lot of different ways, and you're constantly finding out new tricks that you can do. And I thought it was paced really well, and was quite interesting. So, Ugly. It's just called Ugly. Now, before we get into my top 3, we're going to look at all of the viewer-submitted nominations from everyone that I could elicit a nomination from. Here is a bunch of randoms from the internet. This is Jay Jagurdo, our number 1 Coop viewer. They only played Path of Exile 1 and 2, Minecraft, and a ton of Kakarot. Little Corio. Been playing tons of Balatro and Bone Lab. Bone Lab looks pretty cool if you've got some VR. Real ISA Industries playing A Space for the Unbound. That actually looks pretty interesting. I'll give him that. That's a good pick. Bartman2519 has gone for Albion Online, which definitely looks like the kind of game to suck someone in, that's for sure. Reaper Edits 69420, who's actually a very nice commenter, once said we should have at least 10 million subs. Thank you, Reaper Edits 6940, for your review. They appear to have just listed every single game they played. They got Stellar Blade, Minecraft, ton of Valorant, Subnautica, God of War, Elden Ring, Kebab Game on Roblox. Alright. 5 Hearts Under One Roof, which I'm not gonna click on for no reason. Raji actually looks kind of cool. I'm gonna give him that one. Black Myth Wukong, Counter-Strike 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA, Call of Duty, Hollow Knight Silksong, Apex Legends, and apparently they just picked up Played by a Girl, which I can't find on Steam, but Alright, fellas, does anyone have any nominations for the Game of the 2-Year Awards?
Oh, I do.
Batman Asylum PC Edition.
Hey, yeah.
I played it on like X.
Yeah, that might not count.
Cross the Obelisk. I have 250 hours.
When did you first play it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we played that before
That's
last year. Brave Escape.
Brave Escape.
Brave Escape. Dad J. Jagurdo. I binged Mega Bunk. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
Bopple.
No, you did that last time.
No way. That was 20. So my first achievement was in June of 2024.
Yeah, but you played the demo.
Played the demo.
Yeah.
First nomination is to Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. The one Dragon Ball
Did you play
before we did. Yeah. I mean,
Did you
I
just
did the
play around?
tutorial.
You did the tutorial. Alright.
Car X Street, one of my driving games I've been racing around.
Yeah.
It's got my car in it, so
That's
that gets
very
bonus
good.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shape of Dreams, pretty cool. I
Yeah.
still can't
Shape of
figure
Dreams
out
is
what
pretty
shape
cool.
my dream is
I
though.
worked out it was a hexagon.
Hexagon.
None shall intrude, Adam.
None shall intrude. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
like
a cool game.
Skyrim
You
or
play as a
something?
dragon.
The dragon.
Yeah, it's like a party versus boss,
Yeah,
but
right.
you play as the boss.
Mhm.
I could put in Lightbearers too.
You can legally, yeah.
Did I put in Lightbearers 1 in the last one?
No. So, do you fellas have any nominations for the Game of the 2 Years Awards?
Oh, shit.
This is your last chance to get it in.
Okay.
No,
Peak.
don't.
Has someone put in cheese rolling?
No.
Dispatch was fun. I'll nominate Dispatch. I played that November 2025.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Monster Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Which one?
World.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna go with Mecha Bell.
Mechabellum.
Yeah,
2 years.
I
in
played
a
a
row.
lot of that game.
Logan for number 1 as Elden Ring Night Rain. Alright, now we're going into my top 3. At some point during the last 2 years, these were all at the top of my list. So these are all very cool stuff. And I like all of them in very completely different ways, which we'll probably talk about after. First off, we're looking at the best Kyle Thompson game. Yeah, so these games are all made by like just one guy, I think. And they're quite short, but I think they're really cool. I don't know. There's something about them that I really like. Technically, Crypt Custodian is probably the better game, but I'm more partial to platforming, and that's a bit more prevalent in islets. So that was my first experience, and so that's the one I value the most. But yeah, congrats, because I really like these for some reason. I couldn't tell you exactly why. Then in second place we have Hades 2. Hades 2 is pretty good. Think it's pretty solid. But the top spot definitely has to go to the Yakuza Like a Dragon series. I spent the last year grinding through these games, which isn't the easiest thing. But I've been having a blast, frankly. I think it's pretty cool that for 20 years of the franchise, like, their lowest user reviews on Steam was like 84%, and that one's actually like one of my favorites too, so I think there's just a lot of quality that goes into it. Recently, all of that quality has gone off a bridge, I believe, but I'm not up to that yet, so don't... there's a lot of caveats I want to say for this. These games are not going to work for everybody. I'm just very lucky to be in the right place at the right time, with the right mindset and skill set to enjoy these the way I do. It was very intimidating for me to actually get into this series to start with, but once I started dipping my toes in, I realized that I just had to go and try the whole thing. I wouldn't recommend these games to anyone, specifically, because yeah, that would be really tough. And there's a ton of problems with these games, to be honest. Probably more problems with these games than any other game on this list. But there's a lot of highlights, and kind of all the problems can actually make it really interesting as well. I don't really want to pick the best one from here. I don't think it's really possible. Obviously, it's not really fair to compare every other game I've played to this entire franchise at once. But I don't think it would be really fair either to just compare one of these games standing on their own. A couple of them can stand on their own fairly well, but I think playing them as a package is what really made me enjoy it. Which I think just goes to show how this whole comparison thing is garbage. Alright, that's it. See you later.